Alright guys, welcome to the third video of dividing decimals. Here we're going to talk about calculating fuel mileage. If you remember from our entry document, our goal was to figure out which vehicle Mr. Williams should take to Orlando. And we had three options: a Honda Odyssey, a Chevy Silverado, and a Ford Mustang. Okay? Our goal for this lesson is that as a student you should be able to solve real world problems, but by applying what you already know about dividing decimals. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use what we know about dividing decimals to solve other problems. Okay? Now, what we have is gas mileage. Now, there's a formula. Gas mileage equals distance traveled over the amount of fuel used. That's very simple as long as you know these two things. Distance traveled in America is normally calculated as miles. Okay? And the amount of fuel used in the United States is normally in gallons. Now, you guys are working in metric measurement in science class, so you might also see these things as kilometers over liters. But for our purposes, we are going to use miles per gallon. Okay? So, we're going to go ahead and get started with our first one. It says, Mr. Williams' car used 4.2 gallons of gas to travel 126 miles. So, 4.2 gallons of gas is the amount of fuel used, while 126 miles would be our distance traveled. So quite simply, all we're going to do is we're going to divide those things. Now, distance traveled is on the top of our equation, so it's going to go inside the box. 126 goes inside the box. 126. And on the outside is 4.2 gallons. Now, one of the reasons why we're choosing this particular problem is because it's something you guys have not quite seen in our decimal videos yet. The first step when we divide decimals is always to move the decimal to the wall. So we go ahead and do that, but we move it one place. But there's a problem. There is no decimal in our original problem. We have 126. So what do? Well, we actually add a decimal and then move it over one place. And if we move it over one place, we have this blank empty space. Well, that actually becomes a 0, and then we put our decimal at the top. And we simply go, okay, 42. Does 42 go into 1? No. Does it go into 12? No. Does it go into 126? Actually, it does. Okay? And once again, this problem is very difficult for a number of reasons, so please watch. Now, you could use your fast facts on the side again. Okay? But we don't have to go very far. 42, the next one is 84, and the next one is 126. Well, congratulations. That's what we're looking for, 126. How many times does 42 go into 126? Well, that's 3 times. So 3 times 42 is 126, but we subtract. When we subtract, remember, we are subtracting. So 126 minus 126 is 0. Now, be very careful. We compare for our next step. 0 is less than 4 2/10, so we're good there, okay? Or actually less than 42. We're good. But if you look closely, there is still something to bring down. And if I have something to bring down, that means I need to go back up to my steps and do all of them. So how many times does 42 go into 0? Well, it doesn't. And 42, or 0 times 42 is 0. Subtract, we get 0. Do we have anything left to bring down? No, we don't. So now we are done. Okay? Our answer is 30. So this particular car of Mr. Williams gets 30, but we need a label. Well, it gets 30 miles per gallon. And that's how we would write these answers. Okay? 30 miles per gallon. And don't forget to circle it. Okay? That's example number 1. We're going to show you another one. All right, example number 2. Princess Jasmine's car used 3,300 gallons of gas to travel 17 and 886 thousandths miles. Princess Jasmine has quite a bit to do here. So, remember, this is the amount of fuel used, and 17 and 886 thousandths is the distance traveled, so it goes inside the box. 17. Okay? We have 33 hundredths on the outside. Now, we need to figure out, first thing we need to do is to move our decimal. Well, this particular time we need to move it 2 places. 1, 2. Put our decimal there. Okay? If we do it on the outside, we must also do it on the inside. 1, 2. Bring it to the top. Congratulations. Now, 33. That's a big number. Once again, I know 33 is up to like 99, but I'm not really good after that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my fast facts, and I'm actually going to do it on the right side this time. So here's my fast facts. 33, 66, 99. And 99 plus 33 is 132. And the next one's 165, 198, 231, 264, and 297. So there's my fast facts. So we have them there. Okay? And we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. All right, here we go. Does 33 go into 1? Well, no, it doesn't. What about 17? Nope, not that one either. But 178, it sure does. Once again, we go ahead and look at our fast facts. We go as close to 178 without going over. And that looks like 165. That would be 5 times. So 5 times 33 is 165. We're going to go ahead and subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. 7 minus 6 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. Next thing we're going to do is bring down our 8. Okay? We have 138. How many times does 33 go into 138? Well, if we look back down at our line, it looks like 4 times. 4 times goes on the top. 4 times 33 is 132. We subtract, and we get 6, and we bring down our final number, which is 66. How many times does 33 go into 66? Well, if we look at our chart on the side, it is 2. So that is 54 and 2/10. Okay, and what we need is a label because we're calculating the fuel mileage. So that would be 54.2 miles per gallon. And we need to circle our answer. Okay, there we go. We have one more example for you. Okay, this one is another one of those that's a little bit tricky because it includes some things with decimals we haven't talked about yet. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The distance traveled for this one is 22 miles. So that one's going to go inside the box. So we're going to go ahead and put 22. And on the outside is 0.8 gallons. Okay? First thing we need to do is move our decimal 1 place to the right. Well, this is another one of those. There's no decimal down here. Okay? So what do? Well, just like earlier, we add a decimal, and then we move it 1 place to the right. When we do that, we add a 0, okay, to fill in that spot, and the decimal point goes on top. How many times does 8 go into 2? Well, it doesn't, but it does go into 22. It goes in 2 times, and 2 times 8 is 16. 22 minus 16 gives us 6. Bring down our 0. How many times does 8 go into 60? Well, 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. We have 4 left over. What do? Well, in this particular case, we've talked in the past about adding a decimal and a 0, but we already have a decimal, so we don't add one. We can just add a 0 to the end because we already have our decimal. So let's put it down all the way to the bottom. And how many times does 8 go into 40? Well, that is 5 times. And 5 times 8 is 40. So 40 minus 40 equals 0. And your answer is complete. We just need a label. 27 and 5/10 miles per gallon. Okay. You guys will be doing this on a worksheet. It only has 5 problems. Be careful that you know how to do this because on Friday you will be asked to follow all of these steps to calculate the fuel mileage for those 3 vehicles that we talked about. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to calculate gas mileage, and I'm sure it sucked because you got a sucky teacher. Thank you.